Hello everybody, welcome to Manhattan Zodiac Virtual Bar, very nice to see you here, thank you for joining. Today we are talking about all-time classics Manhattan. We will walk you through a little bit of history of the cocktail, then we will move to making and drinking it. But first, let's check what will you need for today. You will need ice, you will need mixing glass or any other type of vessel to mix it, like shaker tin or pint glass. You will need coupe glass or martini glass or bucket glass if you prefer your Manhattan on the rocks. You will need cherry or orange and cherry for your garnish. You will need Angostura bitters, whiskey of your choice. You will need Sweet Vermouth or any other type of Amaro. And I assume that most of you have Sweet Vermouth at home, because yesterday I went to 4 different stores to get that and shelves were empty. We will also talk what to do when you face the same problem as I did yesterday, because there are several fun substitutions for that which will also work perfectly in your Manhattan. As many other classic cocktails, the circumstances of the Manhattan birth are not crystal clear. The popular story suggests that the drink was originated in the Manhattan Club in New York City in the mid-1870s for a banquet hosted by Lady Randolph Churchill, mother of Winston, in honor of presidential candidate Samuel J. Tilden. The banquet had such big success that people started to order drink, referring to the name of the club, the Manhattan Cocktail. However, Lady Randolph Churchill was in France that time, pregnant with Winston, which means that this story is just a fiction. There are also references to other drinks which had very similar recipes and served in Manhattan area. One story suggests that it was invented in 1860s by a bartender named Black on Broadway near Houston Street. But according to the written history of the club from 1960s, the Manhattan cocktail was inaugurated there. It consists of equal parts of sweet vermouth, whiskey and orange bitters. So most likely it was originated in the club, and definitely it was originated in New York. Recipe was changing over the years, but the most popular and most used one is 2 ounces of whiskey, 1 ounce of sweet vermouth and 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. 212 is area code of Manhattan, so it's easy to remember. Rye whiskey was the most traditional choice just because there were a lot of distilleries in upstate New York that time. But then Canadian whiskey came to the market during Prohibition and was just the only one whiskey which was available on the market, so people started to make Manhattan with Canadian whiskey. And then doors remained wide open, bartenders used bourbon, scotch and even brandy. For the sweet vermouth, a very good and popular choice will be Carpano Antica formula. This is Italian vermouth and the recipe dates back to 1786. It has vanilla notes, it has spicy notes and dried fruit notes, but being very vanilla forward, it will bring a little bit more sweetness to your drink, so we recommend to reduce it till 3/4 of an ounce in the original recipe. Footnote for the vermouth, it's fortified wine, so after opening it's better to keep it refrigerated and very well sealed. Manhattan Zodiac choice for sweet vermouth is Cochi Torino. This one is very rich in flavor. It has citrusy, herbal, cacao and even bitter notes, so it brings a lot of complexity into the drink. Production of sweet vermouth goes back to ancient civilizations. They used to infuse a lot of different botanicals to their fortified wines, and one of the most popular was wormwood, which believed to be a very powerful cure for stomach ache. So you probably already noticed the similarity between wormwood and vermouth. So vermouth is German for wormwood. This is how the name of this liqueur was born. Generally, many different citrus and herbal flavors will complement your whiskey, which means that besides classic sweet vermouth, you can use other different types of Amaro. Sfumato, Cardamaro, Nonino, Fernet, all this will perfectly work in your Manhattan, and just your taste is the limit. So besides all the craft you can create around this recipe, there are already classic recipes in the books, and there are about 10 of them. Just for example, Rob Roy, this is Scotch Manhattan, Perfect Manhattan, is going to be made with sweet and dry vermouth. Blonde Manhattan is made with moonshine, Brandy Manhattan is made with brandy, Black Manhattan is made with Averna. So now you have just several examples, and you already know almost everything about the drink, so let's make it. Alright, everything is ready for our Manhattan. We will use Rye Whiskey to make it because it's classic. It symbolizes the tradition and history of New Orleans and takes special place in our bartenders' hearts, as Sazerac and Buffalo Trace distilleries turned out to be very supportive and responsive to the industry during the shutdown. So remember area code of Manhattan. Going to be 2 ounces of rye whiskey, one ounce of sweet vermouth, and 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. Then ice, and let's stir it. I'm using pretty big ice, so I'm going to stir about 28 revolutions. Normally we stir like from 20 to 28. Each cocktail, doesn't matter stirring or shaking, has to have 30% of water, and these 28 revolutions will give you 30% of water. Garnish. We will use orange peel. Coat the glass, and we will go fancy and use not only orange peel but also cherry. Cheers, guys. Nice boozy. Helps not only with stomach problems but with soul problems too. So now you know everything how to make Manhattan. You can recreate old classic, or you can claim your own recipe to become modern classic. Have fun with that. Thank you for joining us. Stay safe and see you next time.